a sign of the times in terms of where we are, the situation in London with Mayor Sadiq Khan at the helm. The London Evening Standard with a story yesterday. The deeply divisive rise of London's private police. That's right, people are actually going to contractors now, private companies, for law and order. I mean, this is where we are. With crime spiralling and fewer bobbies on the beat, anxious residents are turning to independent companies now to uphold the law, the piece says. And as ever, I'll put a link below, guys. Sensible or worrying new development, they ask. Complaints about lockdown lawlessness piling up higher than the litter heaps dotting the Green Village after revelry, the piece reports. They took what one local has described as a full-blown law and order problem into their own hands, hiring a private police force to ride to their rescue. Pretty much, the person quoted is saying, pretty much from the get-go of lockdown, we've had hundreds here from midday to well past 1 o'clock in the morning, smashing beer bottles against bins and leaving nitrous oxide canisters everywhere. And somebody quoted is saying, but we complain to the police and council and nothing happens. Now, the piece does point out that's not strictly accurate. In June, the police did deal with reports of stabbings, a mass brawl, and a gathering of over 100 people here in Richmond. But the fact is that people are complaining that the Metropolitan Police overstretched, slow to respond to smaller incidents, local police station closed in 2018 due to cuts. And it's this feeling, isn't it, that increasingly we're a lawless country in many ways. And I mean, that's just not rhetoric. Look at and I always talk about them, but look at the knife crime figures. The knife crime figures that came out, highest ever knife crime, and 51% higher than 2011. A local resident, again in this piece, who manages a coffee shop on the adjoining High Street, says that his front window has been smashed in 4 times this year, setting him back £4,000. In response, community groups explored hiring security guard in high-vis jackets from a private company to patrol the Green and the town centre. Officer numbers in London recently fell to their lowest level per head in 20 years. Meanwhile, reports of antisocial behaviour rocketed by an unprecedented 270% in March and April during lockdown, although many extra cases can be attributed to people breaching lockdown guidelines. And then it quotes a managing director of a security firm, private security company, saying, which usually deals with very rich individuals in areas like Mayfair, Knightsbridge. He says, over the 4-month period, I'd easily say we've had a 50% increase, without being dramatic, of calls from typical London residents wanting security and mobile patrols. This is a damning indictment of where we are in terms of law and order. And it has to be said, particularly in London. And to see a situation now where residents, and by the way, I'm not blaming coppers. The fact is that we are seeing recruitment of more police officers now, but the numbers were cut significantly. And the old Bill, for a myriad of reasons, have got a very tough job, particularly the Met in London at the moment with the level of violent crime and all the rest of it. But to have a situation now where people living in London feel like they have to get private security firms, this is a damning indictment, and I think it shows you where London is in 2020.